everyone, it's Borg Brain coming back at you with another educational blockchain video. This video is on setting up your MetaMask to be able to interact with a new decentralized exchange that's about to be launched called Pangolin. And Pangolin is based on the Avalanche network or Avalanche protocol. The ticker for their token is AVAX, AVAX. Now, basically, the reason why I'm doing this video is because if you do this, there's an airdrop of Pangolin tokens, which are PNG tokens, and there's a lot of people out there who are eligible for this airdrop. So I wanted to get this video done really quickly to get it out there. I unfortunately am not eligible for this airdrop. So I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you guys. Now, I'm going to go over all the details. I am not super well versed on all of this, but I know a little bit, and I hope the information in this video finds you well. So, as always, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, be safe, have fun. I am an anonymous guy on the internet. I only know what I know, and I try to relay kind of clear, objective information to the best of my ability and the right information, but basically you shouldn't trust me. It's not that I'm not an honest person, it's just I'm just a person on the internet. So the links will be in the description of this video that I go over, and if you want to learn more, then you go to the official sources of all this information and you do your own research, and you get the information from the source. So I will link all that in the description, but you know what, basically, yeah, just do your own research, make informed decisions, please, and don't just follow me, and don't just follow any flapping head on YouTube. And as always, this is the Crypto Society YouTube channel. I am an individual that's part of Crypto Society. At the current moment, I'm the only person making videos on this platform, but there's going to be more of us making videos in the future. The links for us are in the description. The links for me are in the description. So, if you have suggestions or comments or whatever, leave them in the video. You comment on the video in YouTube here, or the other thing you can do is you can find me or find us in Telegram, become part of the community, ask questions, learn in a positive, uplifting environment. Or find me, send me a DM on Twitter or something if you have any suggestions on future videos, because I'm not a blockchain maximalist. I want to cover everything, and even go into places that I'm uncomfortable going. It's as much for me to learn as much about the blockchain space as it is to relay information to the general public. And yeah, that's it. So anyway, yeah, links are in the description. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever. You live your life. But anyway, with that, I think it's time to get into the meat of the video. So Pangolin, here it is. Here is the kind of tutorial going through all the stuff. The link for this will be in the description. You can just follow this guide if you want to learn how to do the thing. So if you want to just skip the video and all my blah, 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 opinions and information, then just go down in the video description and you click the first link that'll be there, and it'll bring you here, and it'll show you how to set up the MetaMask with Avalanche. But I'm going to do it visually in real time. I have not done this before, but I'll do it visually in real time just for the benefit of people who prefer to watch videos. Because I know some people like to watch long-form videos, some people like to watch short-form videos, and some people like to get just a real plain article like this. I gotta say, Pangolin, thank you, because the way that you have this set up is nice and clean and clear and separated I like your layout. So, you know, props. I tip my hat to ye, as it were. Um, and now here, this is kind of the second part I'm going to go over. I'm going to show you how to do it. Of course, I'm not eligible, but I will do the thing, and it's going to say, you're not eligible at the end of the video. But I'm going to go through the whole process. So again, if you just want to set it up and then you just want to check, and links are in the description. And right here is at the end is the actual app for claiming PNG tokens for this airdrop allocation. Anyway, moving on. So Avalanche. This is a Medium article based on, talking about Pangolin, right? So it's a community-driven DEX for Avalanche and Ethereum assets. So they've created a bridge, Avalanche have, between Ethereum and Avalanche, and it's a liquidity bridge. And as I've talked before about liquidity bridges, is like these bridges between different platforms are great because you're going to be able to transfer value, and you're going to be able to transfer, data and information and all sorts of stuff. And the more of these blockchains that can talk to each other, the more robust and decentralized the overall kind of blockchain landscape will become. And a bunch of these projects, like Avalanche is one of them, are really, really cool. We had Bitcoin, not scalable, the big daddy, and then we have Ethereum, World Brain computer, and changed everything. But the transactions, the cost, the showing, it's just so unable. Like CryptoKitties, I mean, that was nothing. we're in a brave new world when it comes to Ethereum gas prices. And the one thing I will say about the Ethereum gas prices are the gas is too damn high. Can I get a hell yeah? Because I feel like I'm not sure if anyone in God's green earth here is going to disagree with me when I say the gas is too damn high. But anyway, yeah, here it is. It discusses it. It's basically a decentralized exchange, and there's a whole bunch of Ethereum-based assets and soon to be Avalanche-based assets, and you're going to be able to interchange them and then port value in and out of Avalanche back and forth to Ethereum. And of course, with Avalanche being a hyper scalable blockchain technology with stupid cheap transactions, in Ethereum, the privilege of buying a token is going to cost you likely no less than $50 USD at the current moment, and I just don't see it dropping anytime soon, although Uniswap v3 is talking about having a second layer scaling solution, and I can't remember if they chose Matic or XDAI, but I'm not even sure if they've publicly announced it, but that's the word on the street, so we'll see. Certainly if Uniswap was able to solve the gas issue, that would be sort of a temporary knife in the heart of, say, like Avalanche or Binance Smart Chain or whatever, who are trying to port value out of Ethereum into their own networks. And this is not FUD against Avalanche. Like, listen, I don't blame you. Like, I would be doing the same thing, And what you're doing is you're providing a service for people who can't afford Ethereum transaction costs, and you're one of several promising blockchains coming out. So, tip of my hat also to ye, Avalanche crew. And moving on here, we got Avalanche, 27th market cap overall. It took a 14% hit today, which is far more than the hit that the overall market cap has taken. But you might think that's bad, but if you look at it, I mean, it's been pumping as of late, so probably due for a retrace. I would not say that, I wouldn't be too worried about that. I think this is just a healthy retrace in the fact that it's been just pumping so hard over the past several weeks. But anyway, here we got our Avalanche, and going over here we got Avalabs, right? So, I mean, if you want to know more about Avalanche, here it is, and from here you can you find your other stuff, and I believe down here you can probably find yeah, right. You got your Telegram, your Reddit, your Discord, your YouTube, and you can find all sorts of stuff in here, and you can go into the GitHub and the documentation and careers and whatnot. This is a large-brained project, and it's a newer project on the map. And they've, you have some other ones that are in the same kind of category. They've been building for years, and Avalanche, in a very short amount of time, have put out something that is like they're basically launching their platform right now, and they're ahead of some projects that have been building for years. Okay, um, I don't know what the future has to hold. Obviously, when you look at the gains, that there's a lot of people thinking Avalanche is the future. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. So certainly, don't ask me for price predictions on Avalanche. So I have no idea, and I am not the expert on Avalanche. Um, but Avalanche here are in a category, what I would call the ETH killers. So I would essentially divide the world of blockchain into a couple of categories in terms of all the networks. I would say you got Bitcoin, Big Daddy. I'd say you have Ethereum, is essentially like the big daddy of world brain computers, and everyone's building on Ethereum. But then you have a couple other ones. And the next tier down from Ethereum, I would say you have your Cosmos and Tendermint, and you would have your Polkadot and Kusama. And the reason why I think those two specifically are sort of next in line is they've focused on building these huge, rich ecosystems with hundreds of projects building on top of them. And when they're ready to launch, they're going to have these huge ecosystems of projects that are natively built on their blockchains, on top of having, Ethereum compatibility and bridges to, I don't know, Dogecoin or whatever, right? Um, on the side of Polkadot and Cosmos, Tendermint, I would put Binance Smart Chain. And as I've mentioned before, Binance Smart Chain is not totally decentralized. It is not the most scalable. It is not, it's not the best technology. But when you talk about the speed of and the cost of transactions and how much tooling that Binance Smart Chain has built between Ethereum and itself and to other chains, they're ahead of the game compared to everyone else right now in a lot of ways. However, Polkadot and Tendermint Cosmos, Kusama, those systems are going to have much cheaper, faster transactions, or at least like much cheaper transaction capability than Binance Smart Chain will have. And they're also much more decentralized. But this is also not FUD against Binance Smart Chain because for right now, Binance Smart Chain is a pretty fun place to be hanging out. Okay? Now, after those projects, you've got your kind of future projects, these promising projects that do not have these massive ecosystems of hundreds of projects on them. They're sort of the newcomers, and some of them haven't been building as long. A couple have been around for a really long time. So basically, what I'm going to go over now is in the category which I would consider the ETH killers. And these are the chains that are like, we're going to come and we're going to be so much better than Ethereum that everyone is going to start building on top of us. I don't know. Like, all these chains could be successful. None of them could be successful. Or some of them could be successful. And I'm not sure which ones are going to be the most successful. I actually have no idea. What I will say is that, you have a project that would promise the best technology and the most scalability, the most composability, the shortest finality, these kind of terms. The project with the best technology is not necessarily the one who's going to win the race. What I would say is social momentum can pump or kill a project, and I would say that community is what really builds a project. And so why I would say Cosmos Tendermint slash Polkadot Kusama slash, to a bit of a lesser extent, Binance Smart Chain. The reason why those three are the most promising, sort of next in line to Ethereum, in my personal opinion, is because they have communities on top of communities on top of communities. Whereas what I'm going to go over right now is a little bit more like they're just one community. And as big as that community might be, there's just less potential for cross pollination, and there's just less people on it. That is not to say that there's not going to be a flood of new communities building on projects like Avalanche, because I feel like that is just a matter of time before that happens. But I don't know what the future will hold for all of these quote unquote ETH killers. But I will say that the technology that they offer is tantalizing and exciting. And I'm really, really excited to start trying to explore some of these more, because I've been resistant to exploring a lot of the ETH killers. For months, I said, no, whatever, it's Ethereum or nothing, and the great big hope is Polkadot. And then I started saying, you know what? No, Cosmos Tendermint is something else, and I think people are underestimating. And then I had resistance on exploring Binance Smart Chain, but then I started making videos, and I'm like, you know what? Binance Smart Chain is cheap and it's pretty cool. There's some drawbacks, but I mean, whatever. Tell me one thing in life that doesn't have a drawback. Can you think of one? No, right? It's like death and taxes. Unfortunately, nothing is perfect, and it shouldn't be, because if something's perfect, life would be pretty boring. Okay, but the long story short is, I think all of these ETH killers um, that I'll go over now, and this is just a selection. There's more than this, but um, basically, I think you know having the best technology is part of it, and but then it's a community, and then it's how many projects and how much tooling and how quickly to market can you get. How long is this bull run going to go on for, and is there going to be a large crypto correction? And if so, when is that going to happen? Where is this momentum bringing us? And what is going to happen with the global financial system? Because it's not like we're out of COVID yet, and governments around the world are still printing money like it's going out of style, and humanity's not just like producing, sort of the value to back that up. So we're probably going to be going into inflation. But then I don't know, right? Like I'm just a guy, and all I can do is hypothesize about possible futures, try to pick what I would think is the most probable outcome, and then try to hedge my bets on a future reality. So, anyway, what I'll say about what I know about these various systems, as I'm going to go right through. So, you have Avalanche, right? And you have Elrond Gold, and this is another hyper scalable blockchain, and they're right there, offering some of the same stuff that all of these offer. And you have Cardano. Cardano's been pumping like crazy lately. I'm not a huge fan of Cardano because I'm not a huge fan of Charles Hoskinson, and I think he talks a lot of shit about everyone. He's like, screw Vitalik and all this kind of stuff, and I don't think they've been building this for 5 years. They haven't launched it yet, and you've got Avalanche are ahead of them, Elrond are ahead of them, Solana's ahead of them. Like there's a bunch of projects that are ahead of them in terms of development, and they keep promising things. We'll see. Anyone who's a big fan of Cardano, I would say to you, I really hope I'm proven wrong for your sake. I'm not, you know, I'm not a fan of Cardano. I'm not planning on buying any Cardano anytime soon. However, who knows? Maybe Cardano is just going to take over everything, because certainly that's what Charles Hoskinson keeps saying. But I don't know, because it's still not out. It's still not out after 5 years, and Avalanche have been building for I don't know how long, like a year or something. So you guys got to hurry up, because you know uh, first to market is a huge advantage, and you're just about to get left in the dust by other blockchains that potentially have better scalability than you do. So I don't know, just saying, right? But the Cardano is another one of these. They're like, we're going to be better than Ethereum. Fuck Ethereum. Pardon my language. Solana. Solana's another one. Now, one thing with Solana that I really like, okay, because there's a thing that I like about Solana that makes it stick out from all these other ones. Solana is part of the IBC, so they're going to be able to plug in to Ethereum. They're going to have their own network, which is hyper scalable. It's, I think, 15,000 transactions per second or something. But they're also going to be able to plug into, I think it's BSC, Binance Smart Chain, the Tendermint Cosmos ecosystem, Ethereum, and they're fully interoperable with Ethereum as far as I understand. You can launch Ethereum, Solidity-based dApps on Solana. So if all that's true, I would say Solana have a bit of an edge over all these other projects at the current moment, just from a cross-chain interoperability angle, I would say. But then who knows, right? And then you got Radix, and I would say out of all of these projects, in terms of scalability and composability and all that kind of stuff, I think Radix have the best technology. Radix is also highly undervalued compared to the rest of these. What I would also say about Radix is the worst at marketing themselves. I mean, if you look at this website, it's kind of plain Jane. Solana's this is a much like cleaner, like this is a way cooler website. This is a more marketable website. Cardano, this is a cleaner, better website than Radix's. Elrond, Elrond's got a better website. Avalanche, this is a better website. So I would say Radix do not do a good job of marketing themselves. I think they're trying to get better. Um, but I think they have the best technology from what I've read. And then next to Radix, what I would say the next best technology is Avalanche, from what I understand. Like the best composability, the most scalability, the most kind of potential atomic composability, whatever, all that kind of stuff. I think Avalanche might have the second best technology next to Radix, but like these are also based. These are my opinions based on what I know. I don't necessarily know it all. Um, you know, there's some fighting between Avalanche and Radix that I'm partial to a little bit, and I understand both. Avalanche are ahead of the game from Radix in a bunch of respects, but I think Radix have the best potential. Um, so look, I'm invested in Radix, and I'm not invested in any of these other ETH killers, right? So obviously, I'm biased. Okay, so when I talk about all this stuff, you know, I'm trying to be objective as possible, but I certainly have some bias because I've invested in Radix. But then, you know, objectively speaking, either none of these are really significant at all in a year from now, or perhaps all of these are significant, or perhaps one of these rises up and just takes a huge chunk of the market share when it launches. And it could be Elrond, it could be Solana, it could be any of them. I don't know. But I would say Radix is behind all of them. I would say Cardano in some ways is behind everyone because they've had just so long to develop and they're still not out. And I mean, if you're looking at the future of okay, what is the best investment um, going forward? What is the future Ethereum? I would say Ethereum 2.0 is going to come eventually, and you shouldn't count them out. I would say Polkadot and Cosmos Tendermint are both, they have wild ecosystems, and I just can't see them failing no matter how much better some of the tech of these ETH killers might be. Like midterm bare minimum, I just do not see Tendermint slash Polkadot doing anything other than uh, destroying expectations and just doing very well, just based on the fact that they have so many projects that have invested so much on building on top of those overarching platforms. I would say Binance Smart Chain is at least in the near term, bare minimum is just an incredible bet, and don't count them out. And then I would say you got all these other options. Are these all have more scalability and better transactions per second and shorter finality and all this stuff than anything that I've previously listed. But it doesn't mean that any of these other systems that I talked about previously here, that they won't scale more than these in the future. Like, the goalposts are always shifting. Who knows, right? What I would say is, if I was going to hope for a sort of the most beautiful future world of decentralized blockchain technology kind of running the planet, I would say that I would hope all of these projects are successful and they all have a part to play. And I hope that there's a nice distributed pie graph, that there's not, we don't end up with one Ethereum that rules everything. I would like to see multiple blockchains with multiple purposes, and they're all interconnecting and creating the more that are successful and have value ported in and are being used and dApps and developers are on them, the more of these different networks that are around taking up a chunk of the pie, the more decentralized and robust the overall blockchain system will be. So I'm not hoping for anyone to fail. Anyone out there, you're working your ass off developing these cool platforms and in the trenches trying to work on this code. I'm not a developer, but I've got a bit of a coding background, so I know enough that it's like, coding is basically you do 95% of it and then it doesn't work, and then you're banging your head off the wall for months and months just trying to get it to work. So all those people just grinding out there developing stuff, I hope everything you're working turns out really well. But anyway, enough of this. I mean, how much can I talk? Well, as it turns out, quite a bit. So finally, Pangolin airdrop portal. So here it is, and we will be testing this out pretty quick. But the first thing we got to do is we got to go all the way back and get set up in Metamask with Avalanche. So seeing as I've already got Metamask and I've been using it in all these different chains, if you've been following these videos, I've got my Metamask. I got an old account set up here because when I was previously doing the video, I knew that I got the airdrop of Uni tokens in here, but then when I was setting up for the video and reading the material, I was like, oh darn, I'm not eligible for the airdrop. So the basics are, if you had Uniswap tokens, or if you had Sushi Swap tokens in a wallet on December 7th, 2020, there was a snapshot taken. So if you had any of those tokens in your wallet at that time, you're eligible for an airdrop. Okay? So anyway, regardless, let's set up this Metamask wallet here. All right. So it's pretty easy. We go up here. We got our account, and we go up here to Ethereum mainnet. We come down and we click Custom RPC. All right. And we scroll down here. See? Custom RPC. Now here, this is the business. We go Avalanche Network. And we go, I don't know, I'm just going to copy and paste some of this stuff because it's too much typing. And my computer's kind of halfway away from my body. I got a weird setup here because I just trying to get some better audio on some of these videos. And it seems to be a bit easier when the microphone's very close to my face, which means the computer has to be further away from my face. So anyway, coming down here. Oh no, oh my George. I gotta actually type everything in. This is horrible. I'm gonna hit a tab down, and copy and paste there. And we go to chain ID. So it's 0xA86A. The currency symbol. You go, oh god, I had a frog in my throat there. So it's AVAX. And of course, the Avalanche token is the native token for Avalanche Network, and that is used for gas. So if you're setting this up and you're, like you get airdropped PNG tokens and you're like, oh no, it won't work, I can't use the exchange. Well, you need Avalanche tokens. So you got to go out and find your Avalanche tokens and, read this guide and it will tell you where to get your Avalanche tokens and how to port them into here. And then you'll have gas so you can be able to transact on the network. So anyway, here we go. HTTPS : //CCHAIN chain .explorer.avax.network / and go save. Now we come down here. We're on the Avalanche network now. So I click on that. Boom. All right. We go back. And we get out of this. And now we are here. So as you see, I've got 0 Avalanche tokens. Now, I wasn't really planning on it because there's only so many tokens you can own. But since I've done this video, regardless of, I'm like, oh, I'm partial to Radix, and there's a fight going. You know what? I'm gonna have to. I'm not eligible for the airdrop, but I'm gonna have to buy a little bit of Avalanche tokens, and I'm gonna have to go into Pangolin when it launches, and I'm gonna have to do a video on it. I'm just gonna have to do a video on it. But anyway, here we go. So now that I've got this account set up, I can come over here. My wallet is connected, and as you can see, it says I've got no available claim, unfortunately. But if you do this process and you had Uni or Sushi tokens in your wallet and you do this, this should say you have a claim. It should say an amount, and you need to claim the airdrop. Now, to do the claim of the airdrop, you might, I'm not sure if you need it or not, but I'd be pretty shocked if you didn't need a little bit of Avalanche tokens in your wallet to be able to claim the airdrop. And coming from a logical perspective, it would be in Avalanche's best interest to say, oh, here, we're giving you a free airdrop into your wallet, and you get it. Okay, but yeah, you need to buy a little bit of our tokens to be able to claim it, and then to be able to sell it or use it. It would make sense. If I was them, I would say, yeah, well, not only would I not want to pay for someone else's gas to claim free tokens I'm giving away and burn my own money, regardless of how cheap the transaction costs are. If I want to onboard people into my network, I would say, no, you need a little bit of, even if it's just a few. And then the more people who buy Avalanche tokens to get the airdrop, the more, when you look at the, the chain scanner for Avalanche, the more it goes up, the more wallets that are holding Avalanche, the more people who are onboarded. And even if it is just to claim some airdrop tokens so you could sell them, I mean, when people go giving free airdrops, right? Like when Uniswap gave free airdrops, you don't blame anyone for selling, trying to lock in value when they're getting free money, and invest in something that maybe they're more interested in. But the other side of it is if you're getting free airdrops from a project, sometimes it's beneficial just holding them. And as you see with Uniswap, those Uni tokens hit, let's look really quickly. I'm just curious now. My computer's being a little bit funky, but 14 overall in market cap for Uniswap. They're at $22.38. So the point is when people got the Uniswap airdrop, Uni tokens were trading at like $2.50. And what I did is I claimed them right away, and I sold 2/3 of my Uniswap tokens for the low price of like $2.50. And if I waited a few hours, I could have sold them for $6. And then they dropped back down again. And there was a point where you could buy them for like $2 or something for a bit. And it slowly came up, and now they're worth $22. So if I had just held on to my original Uni airdrop and just had a little bit of patience and sat and looked at what I owned now, I would have a total value of basically 10 times what I sold everything for. So the point is that when you get airdrop tokens, maybe you first think, I'm going to sell those and I'm going to cash in my $500 or whatever, and then I'm going to buy, token X, whatever, that I'm looking at. And you might think that's a good idea. And you know what? You might be right. That token might go to the moon, and then you're like, I'm going to cash out 25% of what I did, and I'm going to buy back into my whatever airdrop, and I'm going to have twice as much as what I previously sold. I don't know, right? But I don't even know what I bought with what I sold the Uniswap tokens for. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that patience is something that people don't have in the blockchain space generally. But if you're patient and you buy low and you wait until it goes high before you sell, you know, if you have, or as they say, strong hands and big balls. And I sold this at the bottom, right? And what I'm going to say is a whole bunch of people are going to go in here and they're going to get these PNG tokens and they're going to sell them. And I can pretty much guarantee you the chances that people who sell them right when they get them end up having regrets in 5 or 6 months from now is higher than it will be that when if you sell them and you look back. I can pretty much almost guarantee that you'll regret selling them. When you look back in 6 months, you're going to be like, oh no, those tokens were 50 cents and now they're trading at $10. And I'll be like, yeah, if you watch this video, just you learn from my mistakes. And, sometimes you think selling something and maybe it's just better to hold. But anyway, that's about it. I don't get an airdrop, but I hope you get an airdrop, and I hope you get an airdrop and you get a huge surprise and you get 20 grand dropped into your account, and then you watch this video and you're like, thanks, now I got my airdrop, and then you listen to me now and you're just like, will he ever shut up? But you just hear this little bit and you're like, oh man, he sold Uniswap at the bottom. I was going to sell my PNG tokens and cash in the 20 grand, but maybe I'll just hold. And then you just kind of forget about it. And you look back in 6 months and you're like, damn, it's worth way more now. I'm glad I held. But then on the other side, maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to hold on to it because I don't want the same thing to happen with the Uni airdrop. But maybe it goes the other way. And then you're like, oh man, I should have sold them for 20 grand. I don't know. I don't know. Crypto's volatile. You go live your life. But if I was getting this airdrop, I think what I would be doing is I'd just be holding it, and I'd just be looking at a way to like stake in PNG or work in the governance or something. I don't know what the systems are in there, but I don't get the airdrop of the PNG tokens. So, maybe I'll buy some. If I see the token dumping hard, maybe I'll pick some up. Maybe I'll pick up a little bit of Avalanche for gas, and I'm going to buy some PNG tokens if and when they dump. I don't know. I'll look into it. Anyway, but yeah, I'll see. What my schedule's like. I got probably 10 videos before I run out of ideas in the lineup. But yeah, Avalanche. It's a interesting system. They've got some really good technology. I don't know where it's going to go, but they've for being one community as opposed to communities on top of communities on top of communities. Their community is quite strong. The shill is strong with this one, and there are a lot of Rabid fans who think that this is the absolute future. So you know what? Maybe they're right. And anyone holding AVAX tokens, I will say I really sincerely hope that it takes you to the moon and these guys take over. My personal opinion, I hope that everyone does well, and I've bet on certain projects, so on a personal level, I hope the things that I've invested in do well. But who knows? Who has a crystal ball? No one. No one can tell the future, and we won't be able to know how this all shook out until we're a year from now and we look back. Hindsight's 2020, and then we'll be able to say who was right and who was wrong. So I don't really know. But certainly one project that is totally worth looking out for. I think a lot of people have it on the radar because it's been pumping for weeks now, and a very, very promising technology for the future. Um, I'm not invested, but you know, of course, hindsight's 2020, right? If I knew that would have pumped like this a month ago, I would have put a couple grand in there, and I'd be feeling pretty happy right now. And I would probably be saying, no, Avalanche is awesome because, you know, it put a lot of value in my pocket, but it didn't. So I don't know. You know, I'm human like everyone else. But anyway, video's gone on for way too long for what it is. It turned into a treatise just about ETH killers, but yeah, I hope I hope you enjoyed the content and the information. It's Borg Brain, like, follow, subscribe, whatever. Come find Crypto Society on Telegram. We got a pretty rad channel, if I do say so myself, happening in there. And yeah, have a lovely day. That's it. I'm out. Peace.